Hello, everyone. I am Paula Gold-Williams, and I am the president and CEO of CPS Energy. I am excited to be here today. Um, and sorry about that. Here we have technology. I thought I had put on D&D, but I'm excited to be here today. We are um, a, a huge fan of ETS and what Z Prime does. I am inspired by the fact that even in the middle of COVID, the organization has found a way to get us together and given me an opportunity to talk to you today. CPS Energy is a friend of Z Prime and everything that it does. And in fact, it's a great partner to us. And what they asked me to talk to you today about was what we're doing that launched before we got into this pandemic period, and how we're managing through this period, as well as what are we doing new and different again through these interesting times. So I want to tell you a little bit about our major strategy that we've had in place for several years. In 2017, I was working with our internal group. We have 3,100 dedicated employees who are thinking constantly about how to do their jobs every day, and who think constantly about what can we do in the future. One huge impact of the things that we think about the future has been, how do we plan for the new energy solutions that we need? We are in the full aspects of the energy utility business. We generate power, we transmit it, the power is distributed, and we have customers that we serve. And in all those aspects, that generating power piece is huge. We actually oversee and construct plants. That's been our gift and our talent. We do have plants that we operate, and we have a very diverse portfolio, but we also partner with other entities and we do PPAs. So for solar and wind, which are a huge component of our portfolio, we use partnership models. But we were trying to think, what else? What are we going to do? After putting in, of our 7,000 megawatts, we have 1,000 megawatts of wind. We have close to 600 megawatts of solar. We have a huge energy efficiency and conservation program. We were able to save close to 850 megawatts of energy based upon that program over about a 13-year period. So in doing that, we've been excited about the different things that we've been able to do to introduce new and non-emitting technologies. At the same time, we closed 2 coal units, and we replaced them with lower emitting gas units that were newer and more effective and efficient. And again, we supported this energy evolution that we were seeing that was emerging across the globe. And so as we did all of these partnerships, we also launched a new energy economy. And we've been excited to tell this community here in San Antonio and across the industry all of the things that we're working. But again, in 2017, we were thinking, let's think differently. What happens if there really is disruption? What should we do? Should we be worried about that disruption, or should we embrace it? Basically, I feel like it is absolutely unnecessary to be afraid of change. Customers expect change. They expect improvement. They expect us to think about not only our ability to actually make change happen, but how do we do it seamlessly for them and making sure that they get their preferences met. And so what I actually told our generation planning team was, assume we're not generating power ourselves, assume that the market will provide, that the disruption will be so intense that we'll in fact be brokering power or doing something just completely differently than being in every aspect of the supply and generation to the delivery. And of course, that was a really hard mental exercise, but it was mostly about letting go. It was mostly about, you don't have to be stuck in where you were and trying to figure out where you want to go. Once I did that, I said, well, obviously change is more complicated than that. It isn't like a light switch. It takes time. And when you're living in the evolution, there probably really are steps. So we moved to what we thought was a small box solution set. We did recognize that fast response really is kind of the key. Baseload's really, really important still today to keep the grid secure. and operating well, but fast response to support renewables is also absolutely critical. And the more we kept talking about all the dynamics of what the new market will look like, what new energy solutions will look like, we said the most important thing we can do is be flexible, curious, willing to go out and be in learning mode constantly about what's happening and open ourselves to solutions. And that's how we came up with our flexible path strategy. It says, don't be locked in. It says partner. It says leverage. We are an operations company that is service oriented. We can't and don't believe that we're in the space that we're a tech company per se, but we're tech enabled. And we have to be open to all of these new solutions that are coming forward. And flexibility is the absolute key to everything we do. If we're flexible, we'll be able to take the diversity that we have in our portfolio and blend into our tried and true solutions, new solutions. And so that's how it all started. And we've been on a journey. And that journey is not preset. We're actually creating our path or figuring how to maneuver through where there is no road. How do you create it? From that perspective, again, we continue to build on an ecosystem of partners and people who really are thinking about solutions and thinking about how to think globally and act locally. So before the year started in 2020 and we realized that everything was going to be turned upside down, we said, what's next? What do we need to do next? And we said, you know what, we actually got to go out there and start asking for what's the latest and greatest in terms of solution. So we created a profile. We said, we want to create a flexible power bundle. Flex Power Bundle is its name. And we want to ask people to bring us a solution based upon a profile. And that profile will be used to help us replace older fossil plants. And in concept, it is about up to 900 megawatts of solar. We think we have so much wind, it's time to even out our supply with more solar. And then we said we want to, in the middle, put in some energy storage. The challenge with energy storage is we still have to make sure that there's enough duration on the battery. So we are interested in it, but we want to make sure that we're thinking about it as a core, especially relative to fast response. So after the 900 megawatts of solar, 50 megawatts of battery storage for now. And then I think the real interesting part is 500 megawatts of firming capacity. And we think that that is an absolute place where we can get lots of interesting new ideas about technologies that actually do work, should be low to non-emitting, and make sure that it can stack up against fossil so that we can move more smoothly away from fossil in a very logical way. So, but then COVID hit, and I tell everyone that was and is like flying the plane, right? We've got to take care of our customers. We've got to think about the principles of service all the time to make sure that our customers feel like they are our priority, because they are. But we have to rebuild it, and we have to think about how do we do this? How do we move away from older plants that we need to retire to new solutions? And then I added this on in the middle of a storm. Flying a plane while you're rebuilding it in the middle of the storm. And the storm just happened to be COVID-19, and it happened to be the simultaneous movement of pressure on the economy at the same time. I mean, they're almost one and the same. They affect each other. And it's been so devastating across the globe to watch not only the concern for health, the health of people, the health of our customers, our friends and our family, but also realize that the economy has been significantly affected, all the way to the point where people have lost their jobs, or jobs reopening have been delayed, and all of the certainty that goes around that. So while we were interested in finding and promoting this Flex Power Bundle, we took a pause and we said, the first thing we got to do is reach out to our customers. We suspended our disconnects and we reached out to them, and we have a program that we call out and we ask customers, how can we help them? It's not a collection call. It's how can we help them? We have some programs that are very good, that are helpful. We also call and tell them about the food bank and other programs about, all throughout San Antonio. it's a caring call, and we have found that our employees have been encouraged by their ability to help our community and our customers. And that's been our highest priority. And we've done over 20,000 calls over a less than 3-month period. We have helped people get on programs that will help them manage through this really difficult period. And again, we're going to stay there for our customers. We've been serving this community for 160 years. I grew up in this community. I have actually been a customer longer than I've been an employee of CPS Energy. So again, to be municipal power, to understand that power is critical to the life services and the standards that our community expects, is important to us. We got a handle on that. Our employees are embracing the ability to outreach and help customers. And so we are balancing, we're in air and we're balancing, how can we get back on this flex power bundle? So what we did though, is we said, hey, it's a little bit more difficult to do global outreach. And we have to take into consideration that every business is probably hampered by issues of travel and trying to think about bringing new solutions into the state, let alone from halfway around the world. So we decided to make it an RFI first, a request for information first. But we took it seriously and we issued that RFI in 10 languages around the globe. And what we did is we asked, are you interested? Do you have solutions? What do you think? What would you do? Would you want to supply every aspect of the Flex Power bundle, or would you want to concentrate on something, a particular area, solar in particular? Would you want to do some of it some of it utility scale and some of it distributed? What are the ideas that you have? And then introduce us to the new technologies out there that an organization may be ready to go beyond the pilot and actually take it to scale. And if it's a proven technology, we are super interested. So we got a great response just to the RFI, and we can look across the globe and see responses from all different places across the world. Super excited. We've also got an organization that's going to help us both evaluate the responses and then think about how to create a better dialogue with the community about the things that we're seeing and what interest do they have in terms of us solving new energy solutions, and what thoughts do they want to keep in our mind as we're trying to make proposals back to our board and council. We're going to work together and reshape it and then formalize the actual RFP. And in fact, the profile could change, the ratios could change and move based upon how people have actually responded. We're excited. Anybody who wants to know more can dial into, we have a board meeting on our website, www.cpsenergy.com. Go after our board meeting that's coming up on September 21st and hear more. So there's still time for folks to get in, particularly as we move from the RFI process to the RFP process. So that's kind of what's been driving us. We have to keep all the balls in the air. We have to make sure that the game continues to be played, that we are in it to make sure that our community is getting, again, the best solutions. And that we continue to think about partners, all types of partners, whether they be Z Prime, who helps us get the word out and helps us think about all of the interesting things that are happening in the industry, to those new partners that want to join us in this new endeavor to find out how do we move from where we are in our diverse portfolio to a much better and much more balanced, cleaner portfolio that, again, is objectively created. So we are thinking globally and acting locally. We are thinking that solutions really matter in terms of how do you implement them? How do you communicate with them? How do you share them? So here we are, and then you have to deal with disruption that really happens here. So life still goes on. We will get past this period of COVID together and helping each other. And so I am just excited that you're making the time to continue to think about where the industry is going. What part can you play? What's your organization or you as an individual entrepreneur really interested in. It's actually a perfect time to be in the industry. It's changing, it's evolving, it's not stuck, it's open, and it's getting more and more open every day to trying to figure out the right way to move forward using technology, both in the front end and the back end of our operations. So I'm glad that you are balancing your lives. I hope you're taking great care of your safety, but I hope also you're remaining very positive about this period passing and us moving on to really finding new solutions. So I want to thank you, and I can probably stick around for a couple of questions.
Well, Paula, thank you so much for those wonderful comments to kick off ETS20. It is great to be with you virtually. It seems like well, honestly, it seems like years ago that we were together in San Antonio for City of the Future. But when I hear you speak, and when Z Prime gets the privilege to work with you, it does seem like just yesterday. So I hope that we will be together again very soon. We've had some great questions from the audience so far, and we highly encourage anybody to chat in some questions. But as you talked about the flexible path, we had a question from the audience about the idea of energy storage and energy storage as a service. How does energy storage writ large and the idea of energy storage as a service potentially play into CPS's clean energy transition?
Well, actually, I would say overall, energy storage is I think a great opportunity for us, but globally. And for a while, I'd say about 4 years ago, we sent out a team across the United States, and a few folks went out internationally and looked at energy storage broadly, the different types of technologies, chemistries, that are out there. And really, we did more to understand what really were the capabilities behind different types of energy storage. We believe that every energy solution has these great attributes, and we believe every energy solution has some challenges. But if you balance them out, if you're acquainted, if you learn it, if you partner with people who really have that great expertise, then I think any technology you can optimize. That said, we specifically picked in the core lithium ion, but in the 500 megawatts of firming, we are pretty open. That could be other stuff as well. And so, and again, we want people to feel creative. They could say, I think you only have 50 megawatts of lithium ion, but I think to optimize your renewables, you need more, and you can balance it out with some other solution. I think the real point is we remain open to everything. We want lithium ion to continue to be successful, but we also want new chemistries, new types of storage, new types of technology as well. We really are thirsty to understand what's capable today.
Well, it's exactly that flexibility that you just described there, being open to the power of lithium with 50 megawatts as part of the portfolio of clean energy options, but then looking to the future, what does innovation bring? I think there is a broad recognition, not just at CPS, but across the industry, that our industry has to be a leader in the clean energy transition. What is it that separates the flexible path and allows CPS to be adaptable, be customer-centric, be reliable, and then still make sure that you're hitting those clean energy targets for the people of San Antonio and Texas writ large?
So a couple of things I think are critical for us. As we were, again, the thing about the flexible path strategy is it's an evolutionary mechanism in itself, meaning what we thought the flexible path was in 2017 is probably a fraction of what we think it is today. And what we do is we keep building on value-added components of that strategy. one thing that we did overall, thinking about how it's really going to be interesting to pull more and more of our customers into this journey with us. This is why, again, we love Z Prime, because we've been able to do multiple conferences here, City of the Future conferences and things like that, that help us put a spotlight on how important it is for the average citizen to care about energy. That said, we said we have to have kind of a platform and a way to think about solutions that always makes us be as objective as possible and in balance. So what we did is we created consciously 6 pillars of consideration, and those pillars, and we've surveyed our customers, like, of the 6 pillars, what are the most important ones? I will tell you over and over again, customer affordability is still huge, and we have to care about how our solutions and proposals affect the average citizen. And I don't think that was important for sure pre-COVID, and probably it's important times 10 today, again, because of all the economic challenges. But it's customer affordability and reliability. We have more customers working from home, and they notice blinks, and so in reality, more people are they're more demanding, and that's okay. And they tell us over and over again, make sure that it's reliable and make sure that we can afford it. The other things that we added on there were safety. I mean, power is a really critical thing. There are all types of considerations relative to the operation of systems. Security, very much trying to make sure that that grid is protected. So in no way we have some type of risk out there in the operation of the system. Resiliency, and I think this is where energy storage becomes one of the most important things. Fast responding generation, critically helping the system to restore itself quickly, and all the things that we've done on the back end with self-healing capacities and digital meters and all of that kind of stuff. And then, of course, a major pillar that keeps getting, it's growing and growing, just I think at a pace very much as security is environmental responsibility, and the concern for making sure as we do those solutions, we are paying attention to how well we can keep the air clean and water clean and conserved. So when we do that, our perspective is be open to every single solution, but put them through the prism of the things that are important to keep all of that in balance. And we are a business owned by a community, so we have to make sure that, again, we're doing the right things to keep our operations overall affordable, strong, and stable. And again, we think about the really hard stuff. We want our customers to think about the preferences, the order, the prioritization, new solutions. And again, we'll put all of those through the prisms. So for us, I think what's been different is I think we were early in the aspect of embracing change. We were early in realizing that we wanted to be flexible. The flexible strategy also indicates you don't get emotionally, like, you don't go try to pick something like a stock price, like a stock pick. You don't go, I think that's going to be the only solution that's successful. I think the point is there's going to be a lot of things that are so successful out there. Our ability to manage the integration of all that and continually make sure those 6 pillars are optimized, that's the benefit. And don't get, we're not going to get stuck on the technology. We're going to pick partners that help us implement and operate them, and then we're going to keep blending them in. So that's how we're looking at it, Chris.
Well, Paula, we have time for just one more quick question. We had a great one from the audience, and it speaks to something that you mentioned, that you'd been a customer of CPS Energy long before you went to work there, long before you became the CEO. How important is community development, workforce development, and economic development as drivers of this economic recovery that we so desperately need to tackle during these difficult economic times? And I know that's a long question, and probably we need to tackle that more fully at a different time.
Well, the answer is absolutely important. I mean, we serve, but we absolutely believe that every citizen, every customer that we have deserves opportunity to have a great job. and have a standard of living that benefits them and their families. And when you take those and challenge the most difficult aspects of people's lives, how else can they function? So it's important. We need to be, and we at CPS Energy support internships still in the middle of COVID. We've done a huge program virtually, and we're thinking very differently about how to get students and involved at everything from high school up to college and graduate school. We think we have to still do that. And then we support our local SAEDF here, San Antonio Economic Development Foundation. I'm on the executive committee. I partner with one of our executives, Frank Almaraz, who does business development as his core. We understand that so goes the citizens of San Antonio. If they're thriving, then we thrive with them. If they're not thriving, then we hurt with them. And so we want to have better job training programs. We support that. We want to retain the businesses that we have. We want our partners to come in and help support education again and retraining. We've got to get back on our feet across the globe and in all of these communities that the utilities are serving in, and we have a big heart for our customers here. So you got to do it all. That's our job. Yes, we supply energy, but the more that we can do to encourage the economy coming back, again, it's absolutely imperative, and to get education back on track as well.
Paula, thank you so much for kicking ETS20 off. We are so thrilled to partner with CPS Energy. And thank you for your comments, painting a very hopeful picture about this collaborative approach. So thank you, Paula.
Thank you all. Take care.